Thank you very much. Veterans, I love the veterans. Hey, did I have a hard time? So I raised almost $6 million for the veterans, and the press was killing me. Unbelievable. You know, you do something like that, and it takes your heart a little bit. You raise all of that money. I have so many veterans calling me and thanking me. These groups have called me and thanked me. But the press, they always want to make it look as bad as possible. These are bad people, folks, just in case you haven't figured. They are bad, bad people. So we're going to have a good time. You know, Sacramento, which I know and I like, and we're going to do something because I'm going to make a real run in California, okay? Believe me. And only because we're running against Hillary, she's got to be weak. Who do you think is going to win tomorrow, Bernie or Hillary? I don't even know. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Bernie, I have to tell you, but possibly it looks like, you know, she can't close them out. I had to close out 16 governors and senators and talented people. We had to close out 16. She cannot close out Bernie. We're going to see. And by the way, on June 7th, go out and vote. You know why? Got to vote. Even though I'll say the competition has ended, right? It's ended. But you got to go out and vote because we're looking for records. We've broken the all-time record in the history of the Republican Party. All-time record. And never been. I mean, think Ronald Reagan, Dwight Eisenhower, all of them. We've broken it by millions. And the more we get, because we have a lot of great places. South Dakota. So do the best you can, and I know we're on a lot of live television right now in South Dakota. So do the best you can, and I know we're on a lot of live television right now, so all those other states get out, because it's really nice to have a mandate. We'll have a big, beautiful mandate so that when we win with strength, okay? So get out and vote. And I'll tell you what, you know, we have a movement going on, folks. They're writing about it all over. No matter where you go, covers of Time magazine, many, many covers. I love you, too. Look at that. That's the guy that said that. That's the guy. Sounded like a tough cookie. Where are you? I like that guy. But we're on the cover of every magazine. Every magazine. I mean, literally every magazine. And oftentimes we're on the cover many, many times. And I will tell you, there's one of them right there. They're holding it up. The reason is because we have a movement, because we want to take our country back. We want to make America great again. We want to make America first. It's going to be first. So, thank you. By the way, do you like that airplane? It's good, right? Good. Made in America. Made in America, Boeing, made in America. So, very important. You see the way our country is running. It's running badly. You go to the airports, you see the TSA. A friend of mine said he waited 6 hours, and then by the time he got onto the plane, guess what? The plane was gone. There was no getting on. And it was not a good experience. But that's happening all over the country. And that's just one group. Everything's run the same way as TSA is run. Our veterans, it's horrible what's happening to our veterans. Illegal immigrants are treated in many cases better than our veterans. It's a disgraceful thing. And we're going to take care of our veterans properly. Properly. You know, Hillary Clinton said our veterans are being treated just fine, if you can believe that one. You remember that a few months ago. And then the guy running the VA said waiting lines don't matter. They have long waiting lines at Disney. Do you believe that? So this is what we have. Very importantly, in terms of this election. So we're going to come to California. Now, everybody said that for a Republican to run in California is not going to happen, but I'm sort of different. You know, I'm like different. You know, last night, so they say there's 11,000 people in the hangar. Last night, I watched as Bernie had a crowd of 3,000 people. That's not bad. That's not bad. But listen, and the news media said, Bernie Sanders had this massive crowd of 3,000 people. It was unbelievable. 3,000. You know what 3,000 people is? It's like a small audience. It's like, forget it. And when we have a crowd like this, look at this. I mean, these people are in the other side of the hangar. We love you just as much, right? Just as much. But 3,000 people, and they made such a big deal out of it. We had one recently where I was at 17,000. Bernie was at 7. And they said, Donald Trump made a speech tonight, different locations. Donald Trump made a speech tonight. It was blah, 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 right? Then they said, Bernie Sanders had a massive crowd of 7,000. I said, man, I'll tell you, these guys are bad. So that's it. Now, look, many things are going to happen. We're going to come in. We're going to work California hard. We're going to work the state of Washington hard. We may even work Oregon hard because we've been really treated up there great. We're going to work a lot of states that you wouldn't work, and we're going to work them hard. We're going to be here a lot. And I think we have a chance. I think we have a good chance. We had 31,000 people 2 weeks ago, right here. We had 31,000 people 2 weeks ago. And by the way, what they covered, that was when the kid was stomping on the cop car, when they were burning the American flags. They had kids stomping on the car, remember? So they didn't like talking about it too much. Last week, I got the endorsement of the National Rifle Association, NRA. That was the earliest endorsement that I think they've ever given, and it was before the convention, which never happens. Who's going to the convention? A lot of you going to the convention? We're going to have a lot of people. We're going to do a good job in Cleveland. And let me tell you, we're going to keep our guns. Don't worry about it, man. You need them. Remember this. Hillary Clinton, and this is 100%, Hillary Clinton, who lies. I mean, she lies. You remember that? I started that. She lies. She lies. She made a speech, and she's making another one tomorrow. And they sent me a copy of the speech. And it was such lies about my foreign policy that they said, I want Japan to nuke. I want Japan to get nuclear weapons. Give me a break. See, they don't say it. I want Japan and Germany and Saudi Arabia and South Korea and many of the NATO nations. They owe us tremendous. We're taking care of all these people. And what I want them to do is pay up. Now, remember this in a nice way. And we'll have a great relationship. But we're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars. We're talking about danger. You know, we have a treaty with Japan that if the United States gets attacked, think of this. If the United States gets attacked, they don't have to do anything. They can watch it on television. They'll watch it on television. Made in Japan television. We don't make televisions anymore, so we can't say that. But they'll watch it on a Sony television, right? If they get attacked, we have to come to their aid. World War III or whatever the hell happens, right? So we love Japan. We love Germany. We love all these places. They got to help us. They got to take care. We are not being compensated for what we're doing. And what I do say is this. To make the right deal, the art of the deal, to make the right deal, you have to be prepared to walk. A general recently got on television. And he said, Donald Trump, he was told to do this by Obama, who, by the way, doesn't have a clue. This is a president who doesn't have a clue. Well, if he campaigns, and this means I'm allowed to hit him. Is very interesting because he's going to start campaigning. Right? Well, if he campaigns, that means I'm allowed to hit him just like I hit Bill Clinton, if he does, I guess, right? If he doesn't, I don't care. But if he campaigns, and I think he wants to, because he wants to keep this terrible agenda going where everybody is ripping us, where the world is ripping us off. Oh, there's somebody. That's okay. Don't worry about him. Not much. All right, get him out. Get him out of here, folks. Get him out of here. Do we love these Trump rallies? Do we love them? All right. Get him out of here. Go ahead. Out. Out. There's a hell of a crowd, I'll tell you. Tell you, this is great. You getting him out? Where is he? Where is he? Huh? Go ahead, get him out. Right, get him out. Okay, that's fine. He's not going to hurt anybody. You know what I always tell them? Be very gentle. Please don't hurt him. This way I don't get bad press, okay? Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. All right. So look, we're going to change so many things in our country. We're going to make great trade deals. We're going to have a strong border, and we're going to have a wall. And we are going to have a wall. And you know who is going to pay for the wall? Who? And by the way, 100%, not even a question. We have a trade imbalance. We have a trade deficit right now with Mexico, $58 billion a year, not including all the drugs they're sending over here, which is probably triple. And we're going to have a wall, and it's going to work. Last week, I got the endorsement from the Border Patrol agents, 16,500. They need the wall. They want the wall. They said to me, Mr. Trump, we need the wall. It's a tool. It's another tool. It's our most important tool, but we need the wall. Look at that. Latinos for Trump. I love you people. I love you. Thank you. That's what I like. Latinos for Trump. So we're going to do a lot of things, folks. We're going to do a lot of things. We're going to repeal Obamacare and replace it. It's a disaster. And you know, Obamacare, the numbers, this is very good, but Obama's working hard to change it. The numbers are coming out right now. The numbers are scheduled to come out on November 1st. The increases are going to be so large that everybody is going to vote for Donald Trump. It's a catastrophe. Now, Obama is trying to move it into December, because if people see the kind of increases that you're talking about, could be 40%, by the way, nobody's going to vote for anybody having to do with the Obama administration. So we are going to make sure that our people don't let them move that date. November 1st, the Obamacare numbers are going to come out. Wait till you see the kind of increases that you're going to have to pay. You're not going to believe it. On top of which, it's no good. It doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work. So a couple of things. I have to do this because you know all about, I do like details and I do like statisticians. I wouldn't want to be a statistician. But when I look at Sacramento, because I love Sacramento, I have many friends. Who is not from Sacramento here? Are there many people? Well, that's a lot of people. Wow, that's a lot of people. That's good. They come from all over. So listen, this is on Sacramento. We got to know, we got to have this. Since Bill Clinton signed an agreement to put China into the World Trade Organization, you know about that catastrophe, Sacramento has lost nearly 1 in 5 manufacturing jobs. Great going. Listen to this one. Hillary Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, ran up $1 trillion in trade deficits with China. $1 trillion. Great job, Hillary. Hillary, a great job, Hillary. You're doing a great job. Crooked Hillary, crooked Hillary. She is a crooked person. See, I'm being nice. At the same time, Secretary Clinton was surrendering our jobs to China. The Chinese government and its supporters were funneling huge sums of money to Bill Clinton so that he gives speeches. So she's giving China all these deals, and China's paying him vast amounts of money to make speeches. Great job. Great job. I'm sure they never discussed it. I'm sure it had nothing. I'm sure it was just a coincidence. Folks, when are you going to get? These are crooked people. These are crooked people. They've been crooked from the beginning. They were crooked with Whitewater. They've been crooked from the beginning. You look at that foundation. It's pure theft and pure crookedness. Read the book. The book is unbelievable. In fact, now they just came out with a movie. It's coming out like very soon. But read the book. These are crooked people. We don't need another 4 years of Clinton. Believe me, we don't need it. All right, since Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, okay, People don't realize Bill Clinton signed the single worst agreement ever made in terms of economic development. It wiped out states, including your states. It's taken so many manufacturing jobs out. You know, I won New York in a landslide. One of the reasons I went up to Albany, I went up to all these places, the state's been wiped out. Companies, they moved down to Mexico, they moved to other places. It's a total disaster. Bill Clinton made that deal, and it destroyed the manufacturing in our country. You got to remember that, though, because to me, NAFTA, when I wasn't sure. You know, somebody said he didn't sign the deal. I said, I thought he did. Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, the worst. Roughly 1 in 5 children in Sacramento live in poverty. No good, folks. We're going to stop that. Great people, working hard, can't get jobs. You know, that 5% it's a sham. It's a total sham. That was put there so that presidents look better. Your real number is close to 20%. And if it wasn't, despite the fact you like me on the military and the border and all that, we wouldn't have crowds like this every place I go. We wouldn't have crowds like this. So, since 2000, listen to this. This is not good. I just have to get the pain over with. But, you know, here's the story. Don't worry about it. We're going to make it better fast. We're going to bring your jobs back. We're going to make things so much better. We're not going to let these countries get away with what they're doing. They're ripping you off. They're taking your jobs. By the way, today, in golf, anybody see what happened? They moved the World Golf Championship, which used to be Cadillac, a great sponsor, by the way, Cadillac, and they wanted it longer. They moved the World Golf Championships from Miami to Mexico City. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? So they moved, think of it, they moved the PGA Tour, moved the World Golf Championships from Miami, where they're furious, to Mexico City. Not good, but that's okay. Folks, it's all going to be settled. You vote for Donald Trump as president. If I become your president, this stuff is all going to stop. This stuff is all going to stop. I mean, you know the story with Carrier moving to Mexico, Ford moving to Mexico, Nabisco moving to Mexico. Everybody's moving to Mexico. You know why? Because our leaders are stupid people. I'm telling you, they're stupid, stupid people. Led by our president, if you call him that. Okay, ready? Last year, the Sacramento Bee. Does anyone know what the hell the Sacramento Bee is? Because I do. They were actually very nice to me, which is amazing, actually. Last year, the Sacramento Bee reported that nearly a third of California's households struggle each month just for basic needs. They're struggling. A third of the households. Yet, despite the widespread financial hardship, Hillary Clinton wants a 500% increase in Syrian refugees. We have no idea. We have no idea. She wants that. She wants to abolish the Second Amendment. She doesn't know. Honestly, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, folks. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. It's going to be another 4 years of disaster. You're probably better off with Bernie, but that's not going to happen either. Last year, the FBI found that violent crime rose faster in Sacramento than in any other of America's 25 largest cities. You should be ashamed of yourselves, like the press should be ashamed of themselves. All right? Murder, rape, robbery, and assault all increased by substantial numbers. Unbelievable. Jerry Brown, yeah, I know Jerry Brown. Hey, you know, I know Jerry Brown. Who likes Jerry Brown? Anybody like Jerry Brown? Because he just endorsed Hillary. He said, I want crooked Hillary. I want that crook to run my country. A Trump administration is going to make America work again. Going to get rid of the airport lines. We're going to rebuild our military. We're going to invest in missile defense. We're going to have new roads, bridges, infrastructure, all of that stuff. But here's the thing. Look. We have so many things. I cut this article out recently from a paper. See that? This is what a newspaper is now. Everything's internet. They don't read these papers anymore, which is great, because most of them are not worth anything. Listen. Illegal immigrants get $1,261 more welfare than American families. It's $5,692. Think of it. Illegal immigrants are getting $5,692 versus $4,431. No good. No good. Can't do it. We don't have any money. We're a country that's bust. We can't do it, okay? Now, let me just go over a couple of these points because we have to. Are you ready? I have to. I wrote them down in the plane. I said, look, I want to write them down. Ready? Hillary is not a talented person. In fact, she's a person with absolutely no natural talent. All you have to do is watch her speak. And you ever notice, even for a minor speech, she has teleprompters. Do I have teleprompters here? No. But she's got like these minor speeches, and she's going, and I saw this a couple of times, 4 words. We're going to win in the North, South, East, and West. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, boy, so insincere. Number one, and I'll copy Bernie because Bernie's good with this, because if I say it, they say, oh, he's too rough. She's not qualified because she has bad judgment. Now, who said that? Bernie Sanders said it about Hillary. She's not qualified. So here are 7 points that I marked down, which I think are important. And they talk about Hillary and her incompetence. She's one of the worst secretaries of state in the history of our country. Now she wants to be our president. Look, I'll be honest. She has no natural talent to be president. This is not a president. They talk about me. Actually, a lot of people think I look extremely presidential. You want to know that? But do you really believe that Hillary is presidential? This is not presidential material. Her Libya invasion, the Libya invasion was disgusting. I mean, you know who has the oil? ISIS has the oil from Libya. We went in, we knocked the hell out of Libya. We did all of the things with Gaddafi and all, we did great. She ends up with Benghazi. Remember the famous phone call? At 3 o'clock in the morning, she'll answer the call. Guess what? She was sleeping. She was sleeping like a baby. Don't wake me up. Of course, she took the calls from her slimy friends, but she didn't take 500 to 600 calls. They were calling and calling, and she was sleeping, and she did that phony commercial. Remember that? That phony commercial. If the phone rings at 3 o'clock in the morning, well, it did ring a lot of times, and she was sleeping. Maybe it's no energy, low energy, right? She needed her sleep. She needed her sleep. So her Libya invasion, decisions on Syria, Iraq, and Iran have made the Middle East more dangerous than ever before. And you know that. She went to sleep when her ambassador was murdered, and we talked about that, but she went to sleep. She wants to ship all of our jobs overseas. Hillary Clinton wants to make trade agreements that will take care of the rest of her jobs that her husband didn't take care of with NAFTA. We're not going to let it happen, folks. We're going to bring our jobs back. A big thing, and a big thing for Sacramento. Another point. I said it before. She wants to abolish the Second Amendment. Never, ever going to happen. And she does. And believe me, she'll say, I don't want to abolish. You look at what she wants to do. She wants to abolish the Second Amendment. Just believe me. She wants totally open borders. She wants a 500% increase in Syrian refugees. Now, remember this, folks. We have no idea who the hell these people are. And we all have big hearts, and let's build some safe zones in Syria. Let's get the Gulf states to pay for them, because the Gulf states have a lot of money. We'll get it done. We'll get the Gulf states to pay for them. I don't want to pay for them. We don't have any money. And then, of course, you talk about bad judgment. Go ahead. Thank you. So you talk about bad judgment. She broke federal law by putting her emails on a secret private server that foreign countries could easily get to and hack. I mean, folks, if anybody else but her did this, they'd be in jail 2 years already. I mean, honestly, she should not be allowed to run. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the laws of our country. She should not be allowed to run. With that being said, I want to beat her, but she should not be allowed to run. So look, we are going to make our country so strong again. We have to. We have no choice. We have to. We're going to bring back our jobs. So important. Our jobs are a disaster. We're going to bring back our jobs, and we're going to bring them back fast. So what happened? You know, I won all those states. And then they said, I won't say who, because you know what? Once you win, you don't have to talk about them. But a couple of guys, one in particular said, Indiana, that's going to be the firewall, Indiana. Well, I had Bobby Knight, so once I had Bobby Knight, it was over, right? Bobby Knight, boy, what a coach. 900 games he won. 900. 3 championships. Last undefeated season. He called me up probably 5 months before I was going to run. Bobby Knight, great coach, great guy, tough guy. Is he too tough? Do you think he's too tough? No. We need toughness. And he said, you know, Mr. Trump, I don't know you, but you're the kind of guy I want to see run for president. This is before I decided to do it. It's a big decision. You know, it's not easy, believe me. It's a big decision. I have to deal with that scum back there that write all the bad stuff. Believe me, they write bad stuff. They write really bad stuff. Not all of them. Some are good. But so many of them are such bad people. They're bad human beings. And they're liars, okay? They're liars. But Bobby Knight calls me up before I'm going to run. He said, you should run. I said, Coach, give me a number. If I do, I'm going to call you. And I sort of put it in the bottom of my desk. I had a pile of papers a mile high. And a friend came in. And it goes to, we won New York, we won Pennsylvania, we won Connecticut, we won everything. And then a friend came in and he said, Donald, if you could ever get Bobby Knight. I said, I think I can. This is like a year later. And I said to him, Bobby Knight called me like a year ago, and he said I should run. Let me see if I can find. I lift up this pile of papers, and there's his number like sitting there. That's better than having an iPhone, right? That's the old-fashioned way. And I said, Coach, how are we doing? It's Donald Trump. He said, I've been waiting for you to call. And that was a week before I went to Indiana. And man, was he good. He was great. And we won in a landslide. But we won New York. We won Pennsylvania. We won Connecticut. We won Rhode Island and Delaware and Maryland. And then we won. They were the last ones. I'll tell you, a special place for me was New Hampshire. Because in New Hampshire, I got to know the people really well. That was my first victory. I wasn't supposed to win New Hampshire. Jeb Bush was supposed to win New Hampshire. But he was supposed, sort of his territory. He was supposed to win. And I got to know the people, and I campaigned, and I made speeches, but I really sat down with people and people of New Hampshire. And I said, what's the problem up here? Because they were, they got some problems. They said, our problem is heroin. I said, heroin? What are you talking about? He said, our problem's heroin. Now, you look at the rivers and the trees and those beautiful roads, and it doesn't seem they have a tremendous heroin problem. You have, and everybody has. And it comes across the border. That's why that wall is going to get built. And that wall is going to be so powerful. It's going to be so powerful. And don't kid yourself. The world, ask Israel. Do walls work? They work. Just ask Israel. Have no choice. Have no choice. Folks, we have no choice. When I was in the debates, did I do a good job in the debates? I think so. I didn't know. I never debated professionally. All of a sudden, I'm standing up there. Remember, there were 17 people. 17. They had what they called the children's stage and the real stage. And every single debate, I was dead center, right? And it used to bother me when we had an even number. I'd tell CNN and I would tell Fox, I'd say, listen, I want to have odd numbers. And they never knew what I was talking about, because when you have an odd number, you're in the center. When you have an even number, you got 2 guys in the center. That's no good. But I was in the center for every debate. Every single poll, the online polls after the debates, every single poll of every single debate, they say I won. I didn't know. I never did this. You had Ted Cruz, who was like a professional debater. You had all these people. I look so forward to debating crooked Hillary. Oh, do I look forward. You know, Bernie wanted to debate me. I don't know if he did or not. He didn't. He wasn't trying too hard, I'll tell you. Believe me, behind the scenes, he wasn't trying hard. To the media, he was. Oh, I want to debate him. Behind the scenes, I'm not sure he wanted it. But Bernie, in all fairness, I said, put up money to the networks. Put up money for women's health issues in this case. And they're very cheap. You know, they want to make a lot of money, but they're not so fast with giving it away. But I would have liked it. But then I said, and somebody told me, they said, look, the system is rigged. The guy is working hard, but his system is rigged. He can't win. You shouldn't be debating the guy that comes in number 2. Does that make sense? Yeah. And the networks weren't coming through, but it would be a good spectacle. We knock off Bernie and then we knock off Hillary. I don't know. The problem is he can't win. His system's all rigged up. It's all rigged up for Hillary. So let's see what happens. But I look so forward to debate. Whoever the hell I have to debate, I don't care. But I look so forward to those debates. So here's what we're going to do. We have a country that doesn't win anymore, right? We know that. We have a. When was the last time? Seriously, think about it. When was the last time we had a victory in this country? We don't have victories anymore. Did you see our GDP? It's like almost zero. If that happened in China, they'd have a revolution. It's, you know, they get down to 7%, 8%, and they start devaluing their currency again, which kills us because they take our jobs and they kill our companies when they do that. And they're not supposed to do that. And they're not supposed to be building fortresses in the South China Sea. They have no respect for our country. They have no respect for our president. They think he's a total lightweight. And now he's going to be campaigning. And you know what? He shouldn't campaign. He should go out and do the job that he's supposed to be doing, not campaigning. So we don't win anymore. We don't win with jobs. We don't win with the economy. We don't win at all. But let me tell you, folks, and I mean this so sincerely, we are going to win like we've never won before. Telling you. I'm telling you. We're going to bring our jobs back. We're not going to let Carrier go so easily to Mexico. We're not going to let Ford build its plants in Mexico and other places. We're going to say, folks, you're not going to close plants in Michigan. I think I'm going to win Michigan. You know, Michigan's another one. They're saying that a Democrat will win Michigan, except for a problem. They just looked at a poll. Trump is winning in Michigan because for 2 years I've talking about how Michigan has been abused. That's why I won in Indiana. I won Indiana because for years I've been talking about what is happening with Indiana and certain companies. And then all of a sudden, Carrier says they're leaving and they fire all those people. And those people used to attend my speeches like crazy. So here's the story. We don't win anymore. We're going to start winning. We're going to win with our military. We're going to knock the hell out of ISIS. Remember that. We have no choice. We have no choice. We're going to win at our borders. We're going to build the wall. It's going to be a great wall. Someday maybe they'll call it Trump, so I have to make it big and beautiful. I don't want a wall named after me. But we are going to build a great wall. We are going to let our incredible border agents who endorsed me, Sheriff Joe Arpaio endorsed me, too, of Arizona. These are the people that know what they're doing. So we are going to build a wall, and we're going to keep the drugs out of here, poisoning our youth, poisoning everybody. We're going to keep them out. And by the way, we're going to have a wall, but people are going to come pouring into our country. But they're going to come in legally. We want them to come in. They're going to come in legally. We're going to have great health care. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. We're going to have alternatives that are so much better and so much less. We're going to get rid of Common Core. We're going to have local education. Right? We are going to save our Second Amendment from assault from Hillary Clinton and all of these people that don't know what they're doing. You look at what's going on and you study what they're doing with your Second Amendment. Believe me, we are going to save it. We are going to appoint great Supreme Court justices, one of the most important things. Because, you know, if somebody else gets in, you are maybe never going to see our country be great again. You're going to see such a difference. You're going to see such a difference. And we're going to make trade deals the likes of which our country has never made. We're going to bring our jobs back. We're going to bring wealth back to our country. We don't have wealth right now. We have poverty. We are like a third world nation. You look at our airports. You look at our roads, our bridges, our tunnels. We're like a third world nation. You go over to the Middle East. You go over to China. You go over to Japan. You look at what they have and compare it to what we have. Not going to happen anymore, folks. So here's the story. You elect me president, and remember, June 7th, go out and vote. But most importantly, November, you got to go. But get out there on June 7th. That's our starter. That's our warm-up. We are going to start winning again. We are going to win at every element that we have. We're going to win with our military. We're going to win on trade. We're going to win with health care. We're going to win with education. We're going to win with every single element. We're going to win at the border. We're going to win with the wall. And Mexico will pay for that wall. We're going to win at every single. And my friends from Sacramento, and I have a lot of them, and there are a lot of them in the audience, I hate to say, but they're going to represent you well. And they're going to come and see me representing you. And they're going to say, Mr. President, we have to talk. What? We're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. The people of Sacramento cannot take all of these victories, Mr. President. We don't want you to win so much. It's not fair to the rest of the world. Don't win, Mr. President. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, folks. We're going to win, win, win. We're going to make our country great again. We're going to make our country great again, greater than ever before. Ladies and gentlemen, America first. America first. Thank you very much. I love you, Sacramento. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The idea of American greatness, of our country as the leader of the free and unfree world, has vanished. I've decided to do something about it. I couldn't stand to see what was happening to our great country. This mess calls for leadership in the worst way. It needs someone with common sense and business acumen. Someone who can truly lead America back to what has made us great in the past. We need someone with a proven track record in business who understands greatness. Someone who can rally us to the standard of excellence we once epitomized. I started with the issue of illegal immigration and proposed building a major wall that would be very high and completely impervious to the flood of immigrants who we don't want or need here illegally. Suddenly, Americans started to wake up to what was going on with regard to illegal immigration. Despite the large number of candidates who were running for the Republican nomination, what I was saying started to really hit home with people. I started drawing very large crowds so that we had to move our rallies into football stadiums and convention centers. The first national debate drew 24 million viewers, which set a record for cable television. All of a sudden, people who had never cared about the election or never voted before were rushing to our rallies. The rallies became massive. The crowds were unbelievable. The enthusiasm was based on pure love and love of what we were doing. The media, the politicians, and the so-called leaders of our country reacted in horror. But I persevered and went directly to the people because I don't need anyone's financial support, nor do I need anyone's approval as to what to say. I just had to do the right thing. I had to do it. I had no choice. I see what's happening to our country. It's going to hell. I had to do it. I've committed to a truly more powerful military, one prepared and equipped to stand up to any and all of our foes. When we draw a line in the sand, it needs to mean something to all, especially our enemies. I've released a tax plan that gives the middle class and those with lower incomes a chance to keep more of what they earn, while restructuring how the richest Americans will be paying taxes. I've introduced a whole new approach to job creation by encouraging companies to bring more of their jobs in manufacturing back to the United States, home where it belongs, along with the trillions of dollars currently being held in foreign banks overseas. What we need is leadership that can deal with our mess and begin to apply practical solutions to our problems. There's so much untapped greatness in our country. Together, let's make America great again.